with just 5 loaves of fish. Loaves of fish? What am I saying? So today we're giving thanks for our miracles. Our scripture text is taken from John 6:11, and it says, Jesus took the loaves, and when he had given thanks, he distributed to the disciples, and the disciples to them that were set down, and likewise the fishes, as much as they would. Much of our daily activities involve passwords. For example, our cell phones, or maybe to check our bank account. But how about we start thinking of thankfulness as a password, as the key that unlocks the miracle that we are believing for and even completes the miracle that we have already received. John 6 verses 1 to 14 records the miracle of Jesus feeding over 5,000 people with just 5 loaves of bread and 2 fishes. It's noteworthy that verse 11 records Jesus giving thanks before he caused the bread to be distributed. When Jesus gave thanks, God worked a mighty miracle, providing bountifully and exceedingly so that all the people were filled and satisfied, and there were 12 baskets left over. Jesus was setting the example of giving thanks before a miracle happens. He took what was available, he gave thanks unto God, and what was just a little bit multiplied into a whole lot. The God that he gave thanks to is still the same God that we give thanks to today. Malachi chapter 3 verse 6 says, "For I am the Lord, I change not." And since he is the same God, if we do what Jesus did and we give thanks before our miracle, we'll get the same result. So then in Luke 17 verses 11 to 19, we read the account of Jesus performing another miracle. And this one is the one of the healing of the 10 lepers. But sadly, only one leper returned to give thanks. He caught himself in the middle of the celebration. He put his family on hold, he put the priest on hold, and he came back from the celebration to give thanks unto God. In verse 17, Jesus asks, "Where are the 9? Do you realize what Jesus is saying here? Even though he didn't explicitly command that they come back to say thanks, it was something that was expected. When the one returned to the Lord to give thanks, he not only received his healing, but he was made whole. Luke 17 verse 19 refers to that. In addition to his healing, he received a greater blessing of salvation and preservation of safety. That one thankful man got something deeper, and the others, they missed out on it. He got a double miracle because he was thankful. The message from God is clear. We should have a heart filled and overflowing with thankfulness to God. And we should also express how thankful we are. God deserves our thanks. But the problem is that many accept the miracles and never do anything to show thankfulness to him. So let's transition from treating God like some type of spiritual ATM. Let's graduate from saying I need to saying I thank you. Let us stop from withholding our thank yous while we're waiting for the miracle to happen. Thank you should happen before the miracle and after we've received it. Let 2021 be the year that we actually remember our password. Thank you for the miracles that you've done. Thank him for the miracles that he is doing, and thank him for the miracles that he is going to do.
Okay, so we just read about giving thanks for your miracles, and we read about Jesus and the 5 loaves and the 2 fishes where he would have given thanks and then it just multiplied. And that's where the discussion question is. So, discuss reasons why it is important to say thank you before and after the miracle.
So God expects us as believers to be in a continual state of thanksgiving and praise. Psalm 100 verse 4 says, "Enter into his gates with thanksgiving and into his courts with praise. Be thankful unto him and bless his name." And this applies to the before and the after of miracles. So, in all things, give thanks.
Yeah.
And so you all know this story about the 10 lepers and the one leper returning to give thanks. The passage hints at the fact that Jesus offers this one particular leper a little more than he did for the others. His faith prompted him to return to Jesus to give thanks to him. And Jesus then said to him, "Your faith has made you whole." And because he returned to the feet of Jesus in thanks, that personal contact and submission signifies a soul healing. And that's way more than a skin deep healing. God goes deeper when we're thankful. And thankfulness takes us from where we are to where we should be.
So the last one we have is thanking God in advance for what he is yet to do is an act of our faith. Jesus said in Matthew 9:29 that it will happen for you according to your faith. So what we're saying here is, when you go ahead and offer God that heartfelt, sincere thanks that he has none of the thing that hasn't happened yet, it is our expression of our faith. Because we said that in the first week, that Thanksgiving is a form of praise and it's an act of faith. Right, so the story in the Bible, in John chapter 11, verses 41 to 44, this is where Jesus would have raised Lazarus from the dead. And it says that when he went to the tomb, Jesus looked up to God and said, "Father, I thank you." And Lazarus came. He was raised from the dead. In this passage, this is where it would have the verse Jesus wept. Lazarus was his friend. We are talking even last week, and we're living in 2021. We just came through, by the grace of God, we just came through 2020. And we acknowledge these are difficult times. These are difficult times. We're not here like two wannabe perfect people saying give thanks, be happy. My life isn't perfect right now. Your life perfect, yeah?
No,
right, there we go. So it's not like we're saying things and we're not connected to what's happening. We're very connected to what's happening in the world, but we need to be more connected to God. And that could not have been easy. If you're talking hard times, his friend just died and it says Jesus wept. And what did the master do? He went in and he gave God thanks. And then there was a miracle. And when we say it is an expression of our faith, we can do it too. We can do it too. Father, I thank you for what you're about to do in my life. Father, I thank you for healing me from this disease. Father, I thank you for getting me through this financial situation. I thank you for mending this relationship. Father, I thank you. I trust you to do what you said you are going to do. This is an act of our faith. And I don't know about y'all, I need some miracles in my life. I need miracles. That's why we serve a miracle working God. If it was somebody else, God isn't average. God isn't regular. He is the sovereign God. He is the great God. He's the great I am that I am. This is the God that went into that tomb and looked up. He looked up to God. We are to look to God. We are to either just, if you're not doing it, that's great, but don't look to people. Don't look to man. You will get disappointed. Don't look to man. That is where disappointment will come. But we look to God. Because when we look to God, things will happen. Things will happen. This is where we access the greatness of who God is. Because I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And if we're looking for miracle, yes, with a thankful heart, thank God in advance for that miracle and watch that miracle happen. I am doing that. You're doing that as well.
I'm doing that.
And we trust that we will all do it because the Bible says in everything, to give thanks. So we trust that this month was an inspiration to go ahead and be obedient to his word and stretch our faith a little more, as we said in 2021. We want to be more thankful. So we trust that you would also.